In this week's episode, we make it out of South Carolina and into the great state of Georgia. We travel from Beaufort to a little river called the Redbird River, just on the other side of Hellgate. Come along as we head out of Beaufort. We practice our short tacking alongside Port Royal and the famous Parris Island Marine Corps Recruit Depot. Then, the next day, we're onward past Hilton Head Island with plans to get to and explore Savannah. Unfortunately, the weather has other plans and we get hammered with 2 days and nights of heavy rain and then high winds. So we light out of here the first chance we get, right after we try not to sink the boat while servicing the transducer. We go through Hellgate, a notoriously shallow and shoal-prone area. Then we get a very wet and bumpy ride going upwind, going up the Ogeechee River, so we decide to call it a day and pull into the Redbird River for the night. Let's get this party started as we leave Factory Creek, Beaufort, South Carolina, and head for the Ladies Island Swing Bridge.
Ladies Island, just a heads up, we are getting ready to have an opening here at 11:30.
These swing bridges are so cool to see in action. This is one of the other anchorages in Beaufort we were talking about last episode. I guess a mooring field has taken most of the anchorages away. We're all for mooring balls when needed, but $40 a night is a little bit ridiculous. We're all glad we stayed where we did while we were here. Since we couldn't get water from the other marina before we left, and we needed a top off on fuel for our generator, we pulled in here to Port Royal Landing. We weren't trying to go very far today. Our planned anchorage is just around the corner. So, once we were through this bridge, we put out a head sail and short tacked our way past Port Royal and then Parris Island. The following day, we had much more ground to cover. First thing this morning, we needed to cross the Port Royal Sound to get behind Hilton Head Island. We couldn't decide if this green buoy was sun-faded, painted white, or if the birds painted half of it white. It's always sad when you see these, but they serve us as a stark reminder to pay attention and be vigilant.
Oh, there's a whole pond right here, guys! Woohoo! There's so many! Look at them all! Woohoo! Oh, there's a whole pond! Oh my goodness!
I thought that this ferry, or whatever it was gonna wake the hell out of us. It has happened so many times now that we're developing a deep-seated distrust for any motor vessel. But he slowed down, so instead of his wake being life-alteringly bad, it was only 3.5 feet. We can see Savannah.
We're on
we should be crossing into Georgia.
But we're in another state!
Second to last state, baby. We probably should have gone into Savannah proper right away, but instead, we're opting to stay over here at St. Augustine Creek, just off the ICW and the Savannah River. Maybe wasn't the best place we ever picked, but it was okay, and it was pretty cool getting to see these going by. We barely got set up, and then this started. But almost as quickly, it was over, and it turned into a beautiful evening. Overnight, the forecast changed somewhat. Now it's looking like we might get some rain. Some really heavy rain. And boy did we ever. It rained for 2 days and 2 nights straight. But eventually it cleared off and we got a chance to dry out some. Alright, so we're down here on the floor. We've been noticing for, well, I think pretty much since we left actually, that the speed log hasn't been working properly, or at all. So I'm gonna pull the transducer out of the floor and not sink the boat and try and get it working again. That's my plan, Stan. Let's see how that goes. Alright, so I'm not 100% sure how all this works because I didn't actually see the previous owner do it. But that's the transducer. And it's got this threaded collar on it, which is now loose. And my understanding is that when I pull that transducer out of the hole, it starts to leak into the boat a lot. So there's a bung right here, I believe, for this purpose. But we're about to find out. Wow, water comes in a lot. I have heard other people say that you just like put a palm over it, but I need my palm, so. Wow, that came in a lot more than I thought it would.
Yeah, I don't remember it being much of a fight today.
Okay. Also, this is not the right transducer.
Oh!
This is the spare transducer or the depth only. I don't remember what he said because my understanding was that we had one redundant one that I may or may not be connected to anything. Which I think is this one. Well, that's a bummer because it means that means that it's the transducer that's up in that one up there. And I opened the wrong one. Alright, so let's just go ahead and put that back in that hole right there. Oh, gross. Okay. So this looks exactly like what I just pulled out of the other hole, and this one that I can read because the other one I read it as Airmar blinking plug, but this one clearly says Airmar blanking plug. So this is what goes in that hole to stop the water from coming in when I take that one out to fix it. So yeah, so don't break the wire. Oh, there we go. Thread that loose. Okay. Whoop. That really wanted to come up out of there. And that goes in this way. Wow, that one really lets the water in. I'm soaked. Yeah, but that one was like a huge gush of water. I'm like soaked. So this is the problem. This little paddle wheel is covered in goop. So that's why we brought, I will, yeah. That's why we brought one of these. We're gently gonna just do a little toothbrush scrub down. It looks like it's really not all that bad. It's mainly just right on the sides here. Can I get like something that you're not worried about getting seawater and slime in long enough for me to like give this like a scrub down rinse type deal? I just need it right. Oh, that's good. We'll take this sucker, give it a little splash around in there. I assume this part that goes outside into the ocean is waterproof. So this is where our, this face here, I believe, is where our depth sounder shoots its ultrasonic, I think is what it works on. Also, somewhere in this head is also a thermometer for ocean temp, and then this little paddle wheel right here, as the water goes by, it spins that paddle wheel, and that tells us what our boat speed through the water is, and that's one of the things that's crucial in the calculation for true wind speed, because the boat can read the apparent wind just fine, but unless it knows how fast it's moving through the water, it hasn't been giving me the true wind speed or the boat speed, which is what all this is for. So, going to try not to have the gush be quite as big as last time, but that was, I'm not sure I can make the switch. Uh-oh. Why am I unable to remove this? Yeah, I'm not sure why. This one is probably less underwater than the other one is, but this one seems to have a great deal of pressure behind it. So, the water is just starting to come in. That's where that ceiling face is. Jesus, that puts a lot of water in. So now, theoretically, we should be back to having boat speed through the water. Okay, now I need lots and lots of paper towel. All right, so that didn't go 100% to plan. I did not expect that much of a gush to come in, but it's done, and let's see if it works when we get going here. For now, it's time to start up and get going here. Alright, so we're feeling done with St. Augustine Creek, just outside of Savannah. As you will have just seen or be seeing right now, it is very windy. Very, very windy here, in fact. Yeah. So we're gonna move. So yeah, we chose to leave really quite late. It was either that or get up at 3 in the morning and do a bunch of the ICW in the dark and try and get there for 4:30 this morning.
Absolutely not.
Which was a hard no from the entire crew and the captain. Yeah. So yeah, we're just at the point of engines running and almost warmed up, and we're just getting ready to unanchor. Look at that. This has happened a few times now. Somehow the swivel is able to get wedged in the eye of the anchor. It's usually pretty easy to fix, but certainly annoying. Future Matt here. So the swivel actually ended up getting severely bent from this happening down the road. So we swapped it out for one that fits the anchor eye much better. Okay, back to the wind. Well, it's definitely a little spicier than we had weather forecast for this morning. Everything's going just fine. We're definitely pushing through some wind here. So the highest we've seen so far is 27.9 knots of wind. Because of our choice to leave when we did to be at Hell Gate at the right time, we ended up coming under the Island Expressway Bridge at about a 3/4 ebb current, which meant we had 3 to 4 knots against us. But Atlas powered her way through, no problem. Well, we made it.
Through Hell Gate.
Made it through Hell Gate today. We left Savannah-ish this morning.
Yeah.
And we're just on the other side at something called Redbird River.
Bit sketchy. It was very, very windy today, more than predicted.
Yeah, we timed on purpose. We never left the Savannah area till like 1 p.m. We kind of had a pretty chill morning. Well, chill, except for the fact that it was very windy. But we made a go for it. And there was a little while there at the beginning where we didn't think we should be going, maybe?
I know, I kind of thought we should turn into that one anchorage you were talking about. That was like an hour away.
Yeah, but it ended up being okay. And then we made it to Hell Gate at high tide, or thereabouts. And they're not kidding about that one. It's pretty precarious. Look at this. It felt even significantly scarier than all that red you just saw. Mostly because we had
Waves
20 to 25 knots on the starboard beam, and about 2, 3, maybe 3.5 foot waves as well that were all wind driven. And yeah, it was pretty dicey at the time, but at the end of the day, it really wasn't too bad. So
no, it's short. It's a short little cut.
Yeah,
but
yeah, and it just gets progressively worse and worse and worse and worse when you're leaving the blank river. I don't even remember now.
Okeechobee,
something like that. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't too bad, but at the time it was pretty.
If it was this
pretty
calm,
puckery.
like it's really calm right now,
Yeah, it's finally starting
it
to
would
calm
have been
down.
fine.
Yeah.
But it was not.
No.
Like looking at our Dodger or our enclosure, you would think we were out in the ocean all day because it was soaked.
Yeah, we were just getting doused with waves after we came through Hell Gate. We had to turn up this river, the river we just came off of to get in here, and it was like splash, splash, splash. So, but yeah, we're here. We're having a relaxing drink and a cigar, and we're gonna make some dinner real soon. And I think we're gonna go again tomorrow, but we'll decide tomorrow or later.
Yeah, I think tomorrow.
Yeah. Either way, we're gonna sign off right here. So you guys have a fantastic night.
Yes. Night.
No, you have a fantastic night. You have a fantastic whatever the hell time of day it is.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us this week. We sincerely hope you enjoyed this episode. If you haven't already, please remember to like this video as it really helps us to get it out in front of more eyes. Join us next week when we go for an adventure exploring the infamous Blackbeard's Island. This is the setting for generations of pirate lore and tales of buried treasure. Coastal Georgia's Blackbeard Island has had a compelling history for at least 200 years. So we'll see you there next week. Bye!